హలో వెల్కమ్ టు అనదర్ వీడియో. నేను నిన్న చేసిన వీడియోస్కి ఒక్కటి కూడా రాకపోతే ప్లీజ్ అందరూ మీ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్కి షేర్ చేసి ప్లీజ్ నా కోసం సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. మీకోసం చాలాసార్లు చేస్తున్నాం, బట్ సార్లు కూడా చేస్తున్నాం, బట్ వై చూడండి కింద పార్ట్లో 2 ఇయర్స్ చూసారు 23 hours కష్టపడితే
ఏంటి కేసేసేది మీరు మీకోసం ఇంత కష్టపడి చేస్తే ఒక్క సబ్స్క్రైబ్ కూడా చేయలేరా?
సబ్స్క్రైబ్ బటన్ కొట్టే మీ సమయం ఏమైనా పోతుందా?
సరే అవి విషయాలు కానీ ఈరోజు ఏంటి అంటే డే 3 రీసెర్చ్కి ఇంత గ్యాప్ వచ్చింది. అయినా
డే 3 కాదు అనుకుంటాను, నాకు తెలిసి డే 4. ఎందుకంటే నిన్న ఒకసారి రీసెర్చ్ చేసాను. డే 4 యూట్యూబ్ నుంచి బయటికి వెళ్తావు కొంచెం.
ఎందుకు
మనం దేనికోసం వచ్చాం? అది మర్చిపోయి యూట్యూబ్లోకి వెళ్ళి అని ఎడుకుతున్నావు చూడు.
యూట్యూబ్లోనే ఎత్తుకలేదు. సరే ఏంటి చెప్పు.
ఓకే నిజంగా డిస్కస్ చేసుకుంటాం గైస్. ఎన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత ప్లేసెస్ ఎక్కడ అని మేము ఎత్తుకుంటే ఈ రోజు దొరికింది.
First look on the plot, first look on new scenes, and a Toy Fair reveal giving us first look cosmic movie designs. But it isn't even as crazy as the stuff we're going to talk about later, like all the new characters coming in this movie. So let's get right into the biggest news first. A Godzilla X Kong Supernova test screening took place very recently, and massive first look details have leaked from it. According to multiple reports, Space Godzilla is confirmed as the main antagonist of the film, and this is not some reimagined version or a vague nod to the original. Sources say his design is described as being pretty recognizable to the classic 1994 look from Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Guys, we're talking the massive crystalline shoulder spikes replacing dorsal fins, the reddish-purple abdomen, the tusks, that high-pitched roar, the whole deal. For anyone who grew up watching Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, like me, this is basically the dream villain showing up in a Hollywood blockbuster with state-of-the-art CGI. But here's where it gets truly wild. According to the test screening leaks, Space Godzilla isn't even the final boss. He was reportedly created by a greater, unnamed cosmic threat that gets teased at the very end of the film. Despite being created by this entity, Space Godzilla still has his own free will. He's not being mind-controlled or used as a puppet. He is his own force of cosmic destruction, acting independently with his own agenda. But this bigger threat, I have looked everywhere and it hasn't been fully revealed yet. Not even the test screening audience got a complete look at what it is. But if you know what it might be, let me know in the comments. This is clearly Legendary planting seeds for the future of the MonsterVerse, possibly a Phase 2 level setup that could span multiple films. Some fans are speculating it could be Kaiser Ghidorah, Destoroyah, or even something completely original to the MonsterVerse continuity. Whatever it is, the fact that it can create something as overwhelmingly powerful as Space Godzilla means we're looking at a threat that could make everything we've seen before, Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, Scar King, look like a warm-up round. We have even more crazier first look leaks from the test screening later, including Kong's new exosuit, but first let's talk about the first looks on set and characters. Now let's talk about something that's been hiding in plain sight since production started. When the very first set photos leaked from Brisbane, Australia back in May 2025, fans immediately noticed something on Matthew Modine's costume. On the sleeve of his navy blue military uniform was a patch, a logo featuring a thick stylized sword pointing downward, flanked by 2 wing-like objects. That does not match Monarch. It doesn't match Apex Cybernetics either. Multiple fans and analysts, including insiders, pointed out that it is a modernized version of the G-Force logo from the Heisei era of Godzilla films. For those who don't know, G-Force was a joint military strike force from the 1993 to 1995 Godzilla movies, the organization responsible for building Mechagodzilla 2 to fight Godzilla and other kaiju. They were the military arm of the United Nations Godzilla Countermeasures Center. Guys, if they're adapting G-Force for the MonsterVerse, that fundamentally changes the human side of this franchise. And that brings us to the cast, which is genuinely one of the strongest lineups any MonsterVerse film has ever assembled. Dan Stevens is the only returning face, reprising his fan-favorite role as Trapper Beasley, the Titan veterinarian everyone loved from New Empire. Beyond him, you've got Caitlin Dever, Jack O'Connell coming off Sinners, Matthew Modine, who everyone knows as Papa from Stranger Things, Delroy from Fear the Walking Dead. In an interview with KTVU in Oakland, Delroy Lindo specifically said the producers at Legendary and Warner Bros. Were laser focused on making the human characters work this time around. Now here's something that's going to make a lot of fans very happy. According to the test screening, Godzilla is the main focus of this movie. He has the most screen time of any character. Think about that for a second. The New Empire was basically Kong's movie. He was the emotional center, the protagonist, the one with the deeply personal arc searching for his people. This time they've completely flipped it, which I am very excited.
Sorry guys.
Godzilla is front and center as the lead character, and his personality is reportedly much closer to the 2014 film in King of the Monsters, the ancient, calculated, almost mythic protector, not the rage machine we saw in Godzilla vs. Kong, or the somewhat sidelined version from New Empire. He carries the weight of being Earth's primary defender against this cosmic invasion, and it sounds like the film treats him with that level of gravity. He's also still rocking the evolved design from the New Empire, though the CGI was apparently unfinished during the screening and could be slightly altered before the final release. Kong does still get significant screen time, reportedly more than Godzilla had in New Empire, so neither character is being abandoned. And here's the thing that might surprise some people. Godzilla and Kong are on good terms in this movie. There is no rematch between them. No misunderstanding, no mind control, no forced confrontation. They're allies from the jump, united against a common enemy that's bigger than anything either of them has ever faced alone. Let me know what you think about these decisions. But here's the best part. We need to talk about Kong and this exosuit situation. The test screening leak mentions that Kong gets an exosuit in this movie. And while some people think it might be a joke, the rumor has been incredibly persistent across multiple sources I have seen. Earlier leaks from someone who claimed to have been on set described blueprints for what looked like a giant robot with a humanoid build, and they were told its body could separate and attach to Kong. Think Hulkbuster armor, but for a 300-foot ape going up against a cosmic Godzilla clone covered in crystals. It sounds absolutely wild, and when you consider that Project Powerhouse in the New Empire was about way more than just designing a beast glove, it makes sense that Monarch, or this new military organization, has been developing something bigger for exactly this kind of scenario. Now at Toy Fair 2026 in New York this past February, Playmates Toys confirmed they're handling the entire Supernova toy line. They showed off several new first looks at Monsterverse figures and hinted at some seriously cool upcoming designs, describing them with words like iridescent and aurora borealis, kind of cool effects. That kind of description screams cosmic energy, possibly Space Godzilla's crystal aesthetic influencing the entire product line and giving us a taste of the visual palette this movie is going for. As for other titans, Zuko, Kong's little buddy from the New Empire, is confirmed back. Shimo is also in the film, but reportedly only appears for a few minutes. And here's where some fans might be disappointed. There is no Mothra and no Rodan in this movie. None of the King of the Monsters titans are involved either. No baby Godzilla. This is a lean, focused story centered entirely on Godzilla, Kong, and Space Godzilla. Do you think that's the right call? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about the first looks on locations and places, because this is massive. Guys, the scale is unlike anything the Monsterverse has ever attempted. Principal photography kicked off on April 7, 2025 at Village Roadshow Studios in Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. The same studios that house New Empire and Kong Skull Island. Brisbane streets were transformed into London for major action sequences, with Dan Stevens spotted filming high-stakes scenes surrounded by military personnel, fire trucks, and emergency vehicles. From there, the production moved to Moab, Utah in late July, which doubled for Sedona, Arizona, the location referenced in the teaser where a Titan emergency is first detected. They originally planned to shoot at the Grand Canyon, but found Moab's landscape equally stunning and more practical. In August, a second unit team led by Darren Prescott brought 150 extras to Mexico City. First look videos flooded TikTok and had people thinking something real was happening. Then in October 2025, filming moved to central London itself, not a stand-in, actual London, with combat vehicles and extras in British Armed Forces uniforms on city streets. Crew members Dan Mindel and Simon England were then spotted at Chatuchak Weekend Market in Bangkok, Thailand later that month. And filming in Mumbai, India reportedly lasted longer than anyone expected, suggesting a bigger action sequence than originally planned. This movie is hitting 6 countries across 4 continents. The final battle appears to be set in London based on how much filming was done there, both in Australia and on location. How wild is it that a Godzilla movie is going to destroy London? Let me know what you think. Now, while we're all counting down to Supernova, the Monsterverse isn't sitting still. Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 premiered on February 27, 2026 on Apple TV+, and it's introducing a brand new original Titan called Titan X, described by Apple as a living cataclysm, whose massive bioluminescent form makes the world hold its breath when it breaks the ocean surface. Now, I saw while the Monarch showrunners have said Season 2 won't directly set up Supernova's plot, it is expanding.
ఇదంతా జస్ట్ ఒక మోనార్క్ సిరీస్ గురించి ఉంటుంది. అండ్ ఇప్పుడైతే పార్ట్ 4 కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయింది. నెక్స్ట్ పార్ట్లో ఏం చేయాలో మేము ఆలోచించి మీకు దగ్గరికి వచ్చేస్తాం. అండ్ దట్స్ ఇస్ బట్ టుడే. అండ్ బాయ్ బాయ్. అండ్ ఒక నిమిషం మా నాన్న పిలుస్తున్నాడు. ఎయిర్ సౌండ్ వస్తుంది ఏంటి? ఇంకేం సౌండ్ వినిపించిందా? మన వీడియోస్కి అసలు రికార్డింగ్ వచ్చినాయి చూడాలి. Shit! Man!